At Setter number 1, you should have at your seat a document that already has your name written in here. You'll see that other people in your group may have a different reading, and that's fine. The reading that I gave you should be a little bit more appropriate for your reading level and make it easier for you to do independently. We've done this practice process of the close reading several times, and you're going to follow these steps. I'm going to walk you through the directions of each step. So what you might want to do after you, as you start watching this, is pause the screencast so that you can complete an activity and then go on to the next step. So, instructions. You're going to read The Rush for Riches and complete all the questions and margin notes using the close reading strategies that we've been practicing in class. This requires you to read the article 3 times. So for the first step, you're just going to read it and complete and identify the big ideas. The somebody wanted but so, and use one highlighter to highlight vocabulary words. And this should give you an overall understanding of what you're reading about. The Rush for Riches is going to follow the Gold Rush, which ties into the short story that we read After 20 Years. Okay, so go ahead, read step 1, or do your first reading and highlight any words that you don't know. Make sure you look up the words that you don't know. If you want to talk to your neighbors after you get through with that, you can, but you need to be doing your reading on your own. After you're comfortable with the vocabulary words, then you can go on to step 2. So go ahead and pause it right now so you can do step 1, and then come back here and read the directions for step 2. So step 2 tells you to number the paragraphs. This time when you read the article, you're going to read more carefully. And you're going to use a different colored highlighter to show if you agree, disagree, find some important information, heard something that was surprising, or have something that you're wondering. And the thing I want to stress here about this wondering is it should not be a question that can be answered somewhere in the passage already. It would be something that it doesn't answer. Okay, so you're going to read through, and you'll see that if this is a paragraph, I expect every single paragraph to have one marking here, whether it's something you agree with, disagree with, a star, something that's surprising, or something that you're wondering. At the very least, every paragraph that the author put in here is going to have something important. So if you can't find anything else, at the very least you do have something that would be a main idea. Okay, so pause the screencast, go ahead and work on step 2. For step 3, you're going to do your final read. This time, as you read, next to each paragraph you had made an important mark. Now you're going to explain your thoughts over here in the margin notes. You should have a variety of some main ideas, some questions that you had that you were wondering about. These might be things that if you were going to do a report about the gold rush, you might want to find more information about. Anything that you see if it's fact or opinion, because that'll help you decide if this is biased. And anything that you noticed about what the writer did. After you finish step 3, I should see a comment for every single paragraph over here in the margin. And then you're going to go do the questions at the bottom. So, there's a connection to prior learning. In the last reading that we did, we talked about a pestilence, and one of the words you should have defined in here is a blight. So I want you to show how are a blight and pestilence different, but how are they the same? We can also say that the gold rush brought positive changes and negative changes to California. So you're going to go back to the passage, find a paragraph number that has some supporting evidence showing how the gold rush was good for California, and 2 pieces of evidence that support how it was bad. We have 2 causes that feed into one effect here. When you find the effect, I want you to tell me which paragraph number it is. And then you have 3, some of you might have 4 or 5 multiple choice questions. And you're going to practice some of your test-taking strategies. You can cross off answers that don't make sense or that you know are just wrong. And then once you do find the correct answer, I want you to tell me which paragraph number you found it in. Okay? All right. When you finish your close reading, you can turn it in and work on your 7 Wonders research.